Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. It's that time of the day. It's that time of the week. Guess what, Tim?
What?
It's Friday. It's
Freaky
Friday. Yeah. Don't talk over me, man.
Sorry.
I know. Should we start this
Should we start this over again?
Yeah. Nah, let's not do that. We got to record a bunch of shows here, and it is a sweltering 28 degrees Celsius, a.k.a. 82 degrees Fahrenheit, in this garage.
Is it? It probably is. And about 82% humidity.
I was going to say, that's
what kills me.
That's the left hook right there. So anyways, we are awfully warm, nice and toasty. So if you watched like the clip from a few weeks ago, we were complaining about it being too cold.
Yep.
And it was. And now it's too hot. And it is.
Yep.
And that's how the seasons, if you want to call them that, if you believe them, that's how they work.
Yeah, it's not comfortable. I am very much looking forward to getting back into Studio A or
Yes.
or whatever studio we end up in after this.
We got to think about a couple of things for that. Not the least of which is the name.
That's true.
Might be A2.
A2.
Mm-hmm.
Alpha. We need to give it like an MK name. Because there were multiple, there was MK Ultra, there was like MK Prime, there was like all sorts of different things. So we could just give it an MK name. I digress, Zach.
Tim, I made a joke about believing in the seasons or whatever, and I'll say I'm in kind of a conspiracy theory zone right now, which is this
Odd.
all right, global cover-up, yada, 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 zone, which super interesting. We just covered the Plandemic. We talked specifically about the film that's out there today.
Yeah, and believe it or not, it's kind of hard to find. So I know that they took it off of YouTube, they took it off of Facebook, Vimeo, pretty much every other platform. But I was like, oh well, it can't be that hard to find, right?
Yeah.
And I ended up finding it and watching it, but it was like, oh wow, they actually like really, really scrubbed this kind of decent,
No kidding. So is it even on like Google page number 1?
If you do the right search terms.
Okay.
I think I searched like how to watch Plandemic video or something like that, and it was like number 7 or 8.
Okay.
Yeah, but even that, like the first 5 articles or websites were all like debunking, like this is why it's wrong, point by point,
for sure,
all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
So yeah, just goes to show you, man. But honestly, that's the other thing. It's like when you take something down like this, you are playing into exactly what the people making the video are claiming. That like they're under attack because they're telling the truth, and they'll do anything to silence the lone voice of truth that's out there. And I ultimately think, spoiler alert, that they did the right thing by taking that video down. But I assume that had to be a conversation that was had. It's like, do we do this? Because then it's going to lend some sort of like sick sort of credibility to it.
But I think that's always the struggle with conspiracy theories. Yeah. And I think it's like the danger, really outweighs the benefit of taking something like this down. Because if it took you, somebody who's relatively savvy, with the internet.
Yeah. Like I said, it didn't take me longer than 5 minutes, but
I can guarantee you my grandma and my parents would not be able to find it.
Right. So. Exactly. Yeah. No dig on them, but it's
that's a dig on them.
Okay, sure.
They're not listening. So
trying to give you some cover, but
no, you don't need to. They're not listening. Don't worry about it.
The other interesting thing I thought of, is, it's just like, like you said, with this, there's definitely a level of public safety, public health, if you leave it up, like actual harm could happen. Whereas a wild, outlandish conspiracy like everyone is, the global elite are lizard people or something.
Yeah.
Or the earth is flat. it's like, oh God, really? Do we have to talk about this? But you leave it up and it's like, well, at the end of the day, no one's hurt, It's like maybe you don't grow intellectually, I suppose, but it's really only harming the person watching it.
Birds are drone spies.
Hey, jury's out on that one as far as I'm concerned.
Good point.
There was actually, speaking of, some kid in China found a downed drone that was designed to look like a bird. So, yeah. So tell me it's all made up, Zach?
See, more proof. Tim.
More proof. I digress. What was I saying?
I don't remember
100%.
Yeah. No, super interesting article. Whoa. Podcast.
Yeah. No.
Episode.
It was fun. It was interesting. It was, it's one of those, like, you don't really want to do it because it's just kind of makes you feel icky sometimes. But
that's always, that's a line you have to walk a little bit too, because it's like, you can't always do the NFL is rigged where everybody laughs and it's like,
I think
whatever.
We should.
Oh, we should. Actually,
we ran it like twice. I think we're overdue.
There was an issue with that very specific episode. So the second one, if you listen to it, slightly different than the first one, because
I didn't know that.
When I was first, the NFL is Rigged was one of our very first shows.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really figured out this whole system of how I edit the show, like, and save different versions or whatever. Doesn't matter. And I was about to go on vacation. I was about to go to Europe for work. And we re-released it that weekend. And I was like, I couldn't find it, but I was running out of time. Yeah. And so if you listen to that episode, the second one, it's slightly different than the first one. I miss a few points.
Interesting.
Because I had like saved it incorrectly, and then, but the form, it's one of those dumb things. Anyway,
Yes,
so check out both of those shows. Tell us which one's better.
We'll drop them both. Yeah. So it wasn't actually a rerun. We were actually releasing. It's like the remastered and the mastered.
Pretty much, right? Yeah.
Stereo and mono.
Roger Goodell, NFL chairman or whatever, took it down. Just more proof to him.
Just more proof.
Yeah.
Just more proof.
So there you go.
Is that Sports Corner or no?
Well, we don't do those on happy hour shows, but
true.
we do a Sports Corner, SPORTZKORNER. It should be one word, by the way.
You think, man, you just keep modifying this name.
Yeah, exactly. We do have bonus content as well as regular Monday shows posted to patreon.com/crackpot. Check it out. $3, $5, $7 a month gives you different benefits, but gives you a whole bunch of new shows, which is, I think, probably the best part, except for the Zoom meetup that we have.
The Zoom meetup in 2 days.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, the Zoom meetup by the time this comes out will have happened yesterday. It was great. It was fun.
Good point.
There were no technical issues. We could hear everyone and they could hear us the whole time. It was great.
Exactly.
It was awesome. Yeah.
So check it out. Patreon.com/CrackpotPodcast.
Cool. Yeah, I think we should just kind of wrap it up. But anything else you want to add about the show on Monday?
I'm excited for it.
Me too.
It's actually 1 week from today. That we're recording this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We got to get this timing thing down.
Right. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on Monday.
Thanks, everybody.